how are you all doing? It's your girl Cindy and I'm back again with another gist. Guys, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So this is a continuation of my last video. If you haven't seen the first video yet, I'm gonna pin it in the comments so you can please go and watch it. Now, I told you that this white man's video is getting reactions on TikTok, which some black people staged his video responding to him. Now, in regards to the black woman's video she did asking white people why they adopt black kids, a lot of black people are stitching her video like responding to white people, which I have put those videos together. Let's just hear from them. And of course, I'm going to show you some random comments. Please check these videos out.
White people adopt black children.
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted?
So why the hell are you speaking on it, white man? Yeah, I gotta say it. I mean, I see two black kids being adopted by two white people. That's what I see. I'm not looking at two children. I'm looking at two black children being adopted by two white people. And you can kind of understand the disdain for most black women and black men and black families who want to adopt or take a black child into their own and basically raise them right. I can see that. You, on the other hand, my little white friend, who I've dealt with before, you use it as a talking point. You want to use it as a talking point. That's why you see a child, and I do see color. I also see culture slowly eroding from the kids, not being raised right, being raised entitled and privileged, all that sort of crap. They'll lose their self-respect. That's what I see. You don't see that, but I'm talking to an individual who has his own opinion shoved up his ass.
Why do white people adopt black children?
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted?
Adam Calhoun, is this you? I'll take your stupid little question. Let's get it. Maybe if you picked up a book or did some research in accordance with studies on systemic racism in the foster care system, you would understand the answer to your question. Because black children are more likely to be separated from their families and placed in foster care, they are also less likely to be reunited with their families. Child welfare professionals may knowingly or unknowingly allow their personal biases to impact the work in reporting, investigating, intervention, and placement. Black parents may also be wrongly targeted by law enforcement or suffer employment, which can increase the likelihood of a black child being removed from a home. Now let's take a look at some more numbers before I get to the question I have for you and the rest of your ignorant ass video. Now understand, there are approximately 400,000 children in the foster care system in this country, and of those, approximately 117,000 of them are waiting to be adopted. So, if we go beyond the 400,000 and we break it down into its component parts, we see that approximately 168,000 of those children in the foster care system are white, 86,000 are black, 85,000 are Hispanic, and then you see the rest of the breakdown right here. Got it? Now, before I get to my question, remember me referencing the 2017 study that talks about the impact of systemic racism on black families when it comes to the foster care system, okay? So riddle me this. Why are there so many white children in the foster care system and in need of adoption. Now, while you think about that, let's get to the rest of your video.
Second question is, why do you care who adopts them and what color they are as long as they love that child and raise them right?
Why do we care? Can you pick a struggle within that question itself? You say, why do we care as long as they're being loved and raised right? We care because we want to make sure they're being loved and raised right, and their culture is not being whitewashed. I understand that you might not understand this, but it takes a village to raise a child. And it takes a village that understands the culture that that child comes from and makes sure that that culture is represented in their daily lives. See, if you love and care for that child of a different culture like you say you do, you're not going to be bent out of shape that someone from that culture questions, are you making sure that child gets an understanding of the culture they come from? Next.
Lastly, I see color. I see color. But when I see a little baby, I don't go, oh, look at that little white baby or look at that little black baby. These are babies. They haven't been filled with ignorance yet. Let them babies be babies and grow up to be good people.
Another privileged white man talking about his view of color in a society that has been founded upon his color as being the default. You cannot imagine how a black child, no matter what you see, has to navigate a society that is birthed in racism. How powerfully centered in your whiteness your closing statements were. Because regardless of what you think you see, when you say, I don't see black babies, I don't see white babies, I just see babies, understand, from the womb, black children are seen as black children under medical apartheid. As they navigate the school system they will be in, under educational discrimination, these children are going to have to navigate the world as black people. And since you're not ending racism tomorrow, they're going to have to understand how to navigate that system for their own mental health. And if you're not preparing them to navigate that system for their own mental health, you are doing that child a disservice. And that is why we care.
Right, so let's use those critical thinking skills here then. Let's take a look at this and explain to me why the paperwork for these children costs different. Notice that the legals and medical bills are separated out. And the only thing else between these are the race, gender, and ages of these children. Notice that the paperwork for white children costs more. Paperwork for the non-white children costs less. Let's look at another one here. Here, look, the legal services are separated out for you again. And notice anything else different here? That the white children paperwork costs more and the paperwork for non-white children costs less again. Interesting. It's almost like something about the adoption industry values certain children more than others. But sure, yeah, it's the paperwork that you're paying for.
Okay, I must admit that I never knew about this, about, the statistics, okay? So it is now making sense, more sense to me, which, of course, I'm going to do more research on this. I have other searches coming up, guys. Please stay with me. I'm going to show you some comments. Check the searches out.
Why do white people adopt black children?
Hi, I thought I would give my perspective on this because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and I've also been seeing a lot of ignorant comments going around. And I am a transracial international adoptee from Ethiopia in 2008, adopted by 2 white people, and the system has failed me. I have left my family at the age of 15. I've been lied about my paperwork. They've told me that my parents were dead. They were both alive, and I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that people have been saying that's just false. For one, the creator, I've been seeing people stitch the creator, and the first thing they say is, well, these people are opening their homes, but are you Clearly, she said monetary isn't the issue. And in the interview, he talked about how, well, I just want to be a good human being and help other people and no. White saviorism. Money isn't the issue, but you guys equate money with love. You don't understand. She's talking about their culture. She's talking about their culture. I grew up in Ethiopia. I remember the first time I'd seen a white person. And then less than a year later, I come to this country and my parents are white. I'm surrounded by all white people. My parents had money. They were rich. That wasn't the issue. I grew up in Catholic schools. I grew up in all white areas, all white schools. I grew up getting bullied, racist comments here and there. Didn't know what to do with my hair. People said my hair looked like curtain rods. Like comments, blackface. People saying the N-word, constant. I changed my name 4 different times. Because I had identity issues, because I never seen other Ethiopians, let alone adoptees. I forgot my language. They told me that my mom was dying and that my dad was dead. Come to find out, my dad was alive. He just died 6 months ago. As of today, he was assassinated. Come to find out, I had 4 siblings. Come to find out, my mom was alive. My whole family was looking for me and that I wasn't supposed to be adopted. They trafficked me. And if you look at my video, that's my first video that I made, you can read all the hundreds of comments of people saying that they were trafficked too and that they have the same story and that their parents were looking for them too. Money isn't the issue. I see comments of this guy saying, yeah, he's a UFC fighter. So what? Have you heard about Madonna? Have you heard about Angelina Jolie? Money isn't the issue. You guys don't know. You guys just see a poor kid in a third world country and you have money, or you see a poor kid, a black kid, and you can, like in an improvised country, a black kid whose parents are on drugs, and you can save them. You can help them. That's what you see because you can be a good person. You're able to provide that. But you fail to see who they are and incorporate their identity. You guys are missing the whole point. And then I saw another TikToker who works for the agencies and has been a part of DHS or whatnot. And he was talking about, like, what would you want? Would you want them just like stuck in a house together? Just the nonsense. Believe it or not, yeah, I would have rather been in my third world country with my parents who were both alive rather than being here where I was kicked out at the age of 15 and I had nobody in this country. You guys listen to adoptees. Why? There's a whole thing of adoptees. I can send you all my friends that have been trafficked or been kicked out of their families or their paperwork lied or falsified. But yet you guys are saying that they look at family and find if there's reunification. Second, no they don't. No they don't. It's all about money. They just make money off of us. How about you listen to the real people, the adoptees? You're just talking nonsense.
So tell me without telling me that you came from that one guy's video that said the black community just simply doesn't adopt kids. It's so annoying when people hear something on the internet and they just regurgitate it because that's the only argument that they know because they're not even educated in the subject. And that one guy, Mr. Fix-It, who claims to be a child advocate, it's really concerning that he is working in child advocacy because he does not represent all children. Because I thought it was common sense that black people don't adopt children because they are an oppressed community and they don't get the recruitment of adoption agencies like white Christians do. They're also a literal minority in our country. So of course there's a lot less because there's a lot less black people than white people because they're a minority. What I would like people to do is hold white parents accountable and make them get the psychoeducation that they need to raise a black child to decrease harm and have the most successful adoption they possibly could. Why isn't that an option? Why are people misunderstanding this? We all know and can agree the foster system and the adoption system has a lot of issues. So why can't we have conversations to push people to do better, which is exactly what that woman was trying to do, and everybody lost their absolute shit about it. But she was right. It's like y'all are just proving the point. Like I've said many times before, transracial adoptees have a greater chance of struggling with their identity and mental health issues. And so many people have said, well, isn't that better than being back in the system? Again, why isn't educating the adopted parents an option? Why do y'all go directly to throwing the kids back into the system? Y'all don't want to listen to adoptees. That's me. I'm an adoptee. I was in the foster system. I cannot speak on what it is to be a transracial adoptee. But I know that I struggled with my identity, and I was white, adopted by white people. So I can only imagine how difficult that must be when race isn't recognized and honored. Cultural identity, ethnic identity, racial identity is so important to adoptees. Adoptive parents cannot be colorblind because colorblindness does not promote self-worth, confidence in these children. There are studies, literal books. Do all transracial adoptees feel this way? No, but a lot do. So why not you, as an adoptive parent, want to do everything you can to have the healthiest, most successful adoption for your transracial adoptee? I just don't get it. I don't. Transracial adoptees need more support.
People adopt black children.
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted?
I'd actually like to answer this question because I am a black adoptee. It's making me kind of sad to see other black non-adoptees or people who don't know anything about the adoption system saying, agreeing with him in the comments. And I need my people to start defending themselves because let me tell you, I was in the adoption system when I was a baby, and my parents, they did not give me up. I was taken away because they didn't have the funds to raise me. So that's what the government dictated. And even if that wasn't the case, a lot of black children or black families who decide to give up their children have been affected systematically of stuff like slavery. And you're like, how does that even affect generational wealth? People do inherit wealth. After I was adopted, I am now in a family where I will have a little bit of generational wealth, even though they are my black family. But my mom, she's worked hard. She's been working since she was 8 years old, so it was very much deserved. But black people do not always choose to give up their children, and sometimes they really don't have a choice with the cards they've been given. I think it is a tough conversation to have. One time, my mother and I were having a conversation, and I made a very strong point that people that who cannot financially support a child should not have children. But she brought up another really good point, that a lot of, that means a lot of black people wouldn't be able to have children. And don't say black people don't have any money because they don't work hard, because all of the black people I know in my life, especially the black women, work 2 and 3 jobs, and they're going to school to get their degree. And like I said, my mom's been working since she was a child, and her mother was cleaning houses. Black people work hard. It's just the fact that they inherited no generational wealth. Jobs discriminate against them for the way that they look, or the way their hair looks, and they don't want to hire them. So a lot of these black people who have kids, or, may not have the, privilege of contraceptives, because let's be real, all that stuff that prevents pregnancy does not always work. They bring kids into the world. And sometimes the government deems that they're not fit to be parents because they have no money, or for a better life. What do black people do? They surrender their children to an adoption, up for adoption, so they could be adopted by a family who will be able to provide them what they need. Now, I wasn't in foster care for long, but I will note one thing. When I was in foster care with a white family, they seemed like really nice people and everything, but I think I would have turned out very differently than I am now. They didn't know how to take care of my hair, so they always kept cutting it off, and I was still a baby. There wasn't really much to take care of in the first place. But I eventually got adopted by my family right now. And I have a black mother and father. They taught me how to take care of my hair. They taught me about my culture. We have meaningful conversations about everything, pertaining to the Black experience, and I couldn't be happier.
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted?
So I am a Black parent who had my child taken from me and adopted by white parents unjustifiably. Everything was legal, but systems are corrupt. So the reason why there's so many Black children who are available for adoption is because of white supremacist rules and systems that unfairly take Black children from their biological families and intentionally keep them from other Black families. So I know that you think you cooked on this, and there's a whole bunch of Sambos with the same pigmentation as me in your comment section who think that, oh yeah, he got us. All of y'all some clowns and buffoons. Yeah, that's an answer to your question. Straight from the truth.
A question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question.
Well, hell, let me get in line too. Why are so many coloreds in this man's comment section supporting these antics and apologizing? The original question still stands. Because before he got on here with his tender feelings, he could have did his own research, but this young man did it for him. So let's take it back to the top of the hour. Why are there so many white people adopting Black babies when there are more than enough white babies to be adopted, as opposed to bringing that Black baby into their I don't see color household and failing to raise them to where they know who they are as a Black person navigating in society and give them the right tools to do so? Because what is going to happen, which is we see prevalent on this app, you all do not acknowledge that they're Black. And then they have an identity crisis that then the Black community have to deal with, because now they turn to us and put the mental and emotional and physical labor on the Black people in order to help direct and guide them, because you all failed to do it in their childhood. So we'll be waiting on the answer. I use the word color because that's how y'all acting. Get y'all a respectable Negro ass from out of that man comment section. I expect that from him. I expect y'all to use a little bit more common sense.
I'm so sorry, guys. I had to do a voiceover here. I didn't know my microphone turned off. Please bear with me. Now, I thought I should bring these videos here so we all can see Black people's perspective. Now, I'm happy I came across these videos because people are literally like Helen Adam for asking that question, like, oh, he ate Black people. Now, if only people can do their research, if only people can just pay attention and listen. Now, it is obvious that they misunderstood the Black woman's video. Again, if you want to adopt, make sure you tell them, let them know where they are from, because these kids are going to grow up, in the midst of white people, and we all know what will happen. Okay. I don't know, this video is still trending. I thought I should bring this video here. Let me know what you all think in the comments, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course come back for another video. I'm gonna see y'all in my next one. Y'all take care. Bye.